Hi everyone, it's Abhinav from PhoneBunch and this is our full review of the Meizu M2. So the Meizu M2 comes with a 5-inch HD display, MediaTek quad-core MT6735 processor clocked at 1.3 GHz, a 13 megapixel rear and a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Unibody construction here. Now apart from looking good, it actually is pretty sturdy as well. The volume rocker, power button actually feel very good. They have great tactile response. And this phone is pretty thin. It's about 8.7mm in thickness and weighs in at around 131 grams, which is pretty light for a smartphone packing a 2500 mAh battery. At the top, you have the 3.5mm audio jack. On the left, you have the hybrid SIM card and micro SD card slot. So you can either use two separate SIM cards or one SIM card and one micro SD card to expand storage. At the bottom, you have the speakerphone, which is actually pretty decently loud, primary microphone and the micro USB data syncing and charging port. At the back, you have a 13 megapixel camera, LED flash and the Meizu branding at the bottom. The phone really feels very sturdy. Now the back on this isn't really that glossy, but it is slightly slippery, but the rounded edges do make the phone feel great to hold in hand. Now at the top, you do have a notification LED, a 5 megapixel camera proximity and light sensors. Just below the display, there is a single capacitive button which has a lot of functionality built in. We'll talk about that button later on. The display here is a 5-inch HD IPS panel and actually looks pretty decent. The viewing angles are alright. I do notice a little bit of brightness shifting. Colors do remain very accurate and natural. It's plenty bright as well. You can play with the color temperature of the display. And even with that Asahi Dragon Trail glass protection, which is quite reflective, the display is decently visible outdoors. Now coming to network and call quality, signal reception is very good on this device. Moreover, 4G LTE speeds were also very decent. Call quality was good. We didn't have any issues with echo, call drops or anything like that. You also have call recording built in. You have that harassment filter which you can add numbers to, so block calls, and automatic call recording is also available over here. Bluetooth, USB and Wi-Fi tethering do work fine. GPS also works great. And here are all the sensors that are available on the device. Yes, there's a software gyroscope which doesn't work as well as its hardware counterpart. Now let's talk cameras. A 13 megapixel rear shooter here, a 5 megapixel front facing camera, and you can see that the shutter speed is actually pretty good. Yes, it does take a little bit of time to focus in. You can see all the different modes by just swiping on the display. Plenty modes available right there. Auto and manual generally are the ones that you would use. Manual control is again pretty robust. You have quite a lot of control. HDR mode is also available and you can take 1080p videos with the rear camera. The front-facing camera also captures images rather quickly. In good lighting, the images do turn out very clear with the front-facing camera. Again, as ambient light decreases, both the front and rear camera do begin to struggle. Now, these are some of the shots which are taken in good lighting, in broad daylight, some of them. So there's plenty of detail there. You can see that here too. The camera does focus in well when you're outdoors. HDR mode images do turn out quite well. Color reproduction actually is pretty decent. They are more close to natural. Some might say that it looks a bit washed out, but these are very natural. And you can see the amount of detail here. Even distant shots do turn out quite well with good amount of detail. Yes, this camera does have an issue with adjusting to exposure, even in stills. But it still gets the job done easily once you try to tap to focus. Take some great shots in manual mode too. Overall colors really pop. I really like the color reproduction here. But as soon as the light gets a bit dim or you are under artificial light, the camera does begin to show its weakness. There's a lot of graininess there. But yes, the flash definitely helps in that aspect. You can just see the comparisons here. The flash is really very helpful. It really brings out the colors as well. Manual mode again, as I said, does work out quite fine and it really helps in low light shots too. Now the rear camera can capture in 1080p, but you don't have continuous autofocus. You have to use tap to focus. And here you would notice that the exposure compensation actually goes pretty wild. You can see that here too. So video quality is just about decent. But yes, the rear camera is actually a bit better than the Redmi 2. The front facing camera is also pretty decent. Now music playback was again very good on this device. Audio quality from the headphone jack is very good. The speakerphone is decently loud, which definitely helps. You do have an equalizer built in, which actually just works if you have a headset plugged in. You have direct HD sound available too, which you can customize based on which headphones you are listening with. 1080p videos also play flawlessly. You have quite a lot of control in the video player itself. You can even pop that out if you just want to work on something else along with watching a video. YouTube streaming also works well, but this bar at the top just remains right there, the notification bar. Again, I think some software update for the YouTube app might actually fix that. Now, the Meizu M2 does take a little bit of time to get used to. FlyME OS is a bit different than what we generally use. You have a single back button which controls everything on the device, but yes, you do have widget support baked in. There are no themes available as of yet, but the company is working on local content. You have notification quick toggles up top, and you can see that the apps really open up very quickly. You have a quick memo feature where you can just type a note, hit the home button, and it's saved. Very cool stuff. You have a security app, again similar to what we have seen with Xiaomi devices, where you can control traffic. You have app permissions as well. You can control pretty much everything about an app. And then there's this single button. If you tap on it, it behaves as a back button. If you press it, it behaves as a home key. If you long press it, it behaves as a power button. So a lot of functionality in just one button. And right here you can see we are running Android 5.1, but we really don't know when this phone would get updated to Android Marshmallow. Now, if we talk about inbuilt storage, you'll get about 10 odd gigs when you get the device to install apps and games. App data can't be moved to the external SD card. USB OTG, however, is supported and it actually works fine. You can see the video, no lag there. And RAM management is again very good on this device. Out of 2 gigs, generally you will see 800 odd MB free. This is the task manager which opens up by swiping from the bottom. And if you just swipe from the top again, you kill all the tasks. So lots of functionality built in, it just needs a bit getting used to. Then you have Smart Touch available as well, which can be used as a back button with a single tap. And you can also use it to move between open apps. Web browsing was also very good on this device, as is general performance. Apps open up very quickly. Multitasking is again very good, as I said earlier. Overall, the UI performs really well on this device, and memory management is very good, which reflects in the battery performance of the device as well. We were able to get around 3 to 3.5 hours of screen on time, which is pretty decent for a smartphone in this space. Even the Redmi 2 and Redmi 2 Prime get similar screen on time. Now, gaming was also good on this device. Some games, yes, they did lag a bit. We played most of the games in performance mode, in balance mode as well. Slight hiccups here and there. And yes, with extended gaming, this phone does get a bit hot, but in general use, I never noticed it getting hot even a little bit. Just a bit warm with continuous usage, but never uncomfortable to hold. Well folks, that brings us to the end of this review. Now just to conclude, this phone has excellent build quality, a good display, good cameras as well, and for a budget price of about Rs 7,000, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. 4G LTE connectivity, decent battery life, and a very good looking smartphone. The Meizu M2 can definitely give the Xiaomi Redmi 2 Prime a run for its money. Do tell us what you felt about the device itself, our review. If you have any questions or suggestions, do mention those in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.